Thank you for joining us, and here's some of the reports we're filing at this time. I am Frank Komalape. We'll begin from the Federal Capital Territory, where the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has unanimously voted to increase the benchmark interest rate to 15.5% from 14%, being the third hawkish move by the Apex Bank in 2022 following the rising rate of inflation. This was disclosed by the governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, while reading the communique of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the year on Tuesday. The central bank, during its last MPC meeting, had increased the interest rate from 11.5% to 14%. In the last two meetings, however, with the inflation rate still spiking above 20%, the CBN has raised the rate further to 15.5% in a bid to combat the rising cost of goods and services. And now Nigeria's quest for value-added export of its primary products received a boost as the United States Department of Agriculture's Food for Progress program entered into a cooperative agreement with the Lutheran World Relief to strengthen the cocoa value chain in Nigeria. The U.S. consulate said in a statement that the project was worth approximately $22 million and would be implemented over the next 5 years. According to the consulate, the Lutheran World Relief, an international non-governmental organization, will carry out the project activities in Abia, Cross River, Ekiti, Akwa Ibom, Ondo, and Osun states, benefiting approximately about 60,000 farmers. This will target farmers in low productivity but high promising areas, as well as farmers in high density, high productivity communities. The primary objectives of the Food for Progress program is to increase cocoa productivity by leveraging climate-smart agricultural measures. It will support improved access to inputs, technical resources, and capacity post-harvest processing and export markets. And in the meantime, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says the national grid, which collapsed earlier on Monday, has been restored. The restoration of the affected part of the grid commenced immediately at 11:55 a.m. While explaining the cause of the incident, the TCN said it was due to a sudden drop in system frequency, which created system instability. The National Control Center said a full-scale investigation is being conducted to establish and ascertain the cause of the partial disturbance, as this unwholesome event has resulted in aggregate generation loss. TCN General Manager Public Affairs Ndidi Mba said in a statement earlier in the day, says electricity distribution companies had informed the customers of the disruption of power, citing the collapse of the national grid. Monday's incident is the latest in a series of blackouts in the country owing to the incessant collapse of the national grid. The national grid has collapsed 8 times this year, with the last one coming in July. It equally collapsed in June, March, and April 2022. And now Nigeria's power sector is underperforming because we have been distracted by issues of metering and cost recovery, amongst others. This was the view of public affairs analyst Samuel Agric while assessing the performance of Nigeria's power sector after 7 years under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. On the privatization of the sector, which took place 9 years ago, Agric stated that the federal government should review the process. He spoke earlier on IBrandTV's Business Breakfast Show.
Let's see what we have and how they have performed.
Okay.
We have installed capacity of 13,442 megawatts. That is installed capacity on ground. We have a wheeling capacity that's by the TCN of 7,500 megawatts. We've privatized the GENCOs, the DISCOs. The TCN remains with the government. Then we have to understand electricity as a commodity is very perishable. Unlike other commodities, if I'm selling oil and I produce oil and you don't buy, I put it in a drum to wait for a buyer the next day. Electricity is not like that. So if I produce electricity and it's not utilized immediately, it's gone forever, wasted. So we have all these indices, and that is what this government met. So we have a situation whereby we have a stock capacity so high, and we can only evacuate about 4,000 megawatts. Now, I think we have been too busy and distracted with so many things. The first one is the meter. Meter is not part of generating electricity. It's just a matter of cost recovery. It's a matter of social justice, because if I'm metered, I should be able to pay for what I use instead of somebody giving me an estimated billing. So that is not part of generating electricity. So we've been distracted with that. Now, the issue has been, because we have privatized two aspects of the whole ecosystem of electricity, that is between this OTC.
And now, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has said the state government was developing a cultural district in Benin metropolis to leverage its rich cultural heritage in boosting tourism receipts. The governor said this in commemoration of World Tourism Day, marked every September 27 by the United Nations World Tourism Organization, an organ of the United Nations. This year's theme is Rethinking Tourism. The governor noted that the state was developing a tourism master plan to serve as a compass to drive the sector's development, urging for the support and collaboration of all stakeholders to grow the tourism sector and make it more vibrant and attractive. According to Obaseki, this year's World Tourism Day presents yet another opportunity to reinstate the crucial role of the tourism sector to the growth and development of any economy, and advocate for increased partnership among critical stakeholders to adequately harness the huge potential of the sector. And in the meantime, reactions have continued to trail the proposed ban on the consumption of animal skin, locally known as PONMO. IBrand senior reporter Korea was at the popular Lagos market in Ikeja and reports that traders and consumers of the item are against its ban.
This is Ikeja Market, also known as Ikbodo. Here I am standing at one of the shops where PONMO is being sold, one of the delicacies that is proposed to be under ban by the federal government. PONMO goes for as low as this is 200 naira. While you also have that of 100 naira, there's one for 50 naira. To some consumers, PONMO is very cheap and better for them. They are insisting that the government should not place a ban on the consumption of PONMO. According to the Director General, Nigerian Institute of Leather and Science Technology, Professor Muhammad Yakub said the decision to promulgate a law banning the consumption of animal skin, locally called PONMO, is geared towards resuscitating the moribund leather institutions in the country. Reacting to the proposed ban, traders and consumers of animal skin in some markets visited said the federal government should focus on other areas and not their sources of livelihood.
These are no good. They come for PONMO, where be small thing for women. PONMO, crayfish, you take and do okoro chop. Now they want come back to PONMO. Who be that person again? When one come push hands for us, God do do. Make I go tell them. We don't want them. Make the live on a poor man meat.
Make it bring money, make money there for Nigeria, make all the food ingredients, make it less, make school fees too, make it less. Now what do we want for this Nigeria? Not be to the banties where we say family they eat.
I no get another business. So what I want chop, what I want to feed all my family. Shema go thief.
Some consumers of the product see the move as against the poor and downtrodden.
If they buy PONMO, what did they want give us? They won't feed us. I bet they not gonna kill Nigeria finish you. You know we agree for that one. Now what you want make we chop? Say na woman be me to make with the chop because we don't get anything with the chop for Nigeria. Now let this PONMO now with the chop. So Baba no fit tell us we no chop PONMO.
On legal implications, of the ban, these legal practitioners are divergent on their views.
I don't think there is any government that can place a ban as to what someone will eat. They don't even have right to determine what people consume.
As a matter of fact, the federal government has the right to do what it feels is good for the people. But the ban on PONMO is not the right step in the right direction.
If the proposed ban on consumption of animal skin scales through, there is the fear that there will be further hike in the prices of meat. These women in Ikpodo market at Ikeja in Lagos State are insisting that should government continues with the proposed ban of PONMO, they will go on a protest. They are saying this is the delicacy that they can afford for themselves and family. From Ikpodo market in Ikeja, Lagos State, I am Agric reporting for IBrandTV News.
Well, thank you for that report. Still to come after the break. Europe races to investigate sabotage as mystery gas leaks hit Russian pipelines. We'll bring you details and more news after this commercial break. Please stay with us.